Hello, everybody! Surprise! You know what? Today's Drama-Free Friday, all day long. And I'm glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See who all's here. Just gonna chat for a minute, wait for a minute. Yeah. Hello, Kellyanne. Nice to have you join me. Since you're the first one here, welcome, welcome. Hey, Shu, you are right on time today. Hi, Patricia. So nice to have you all here today. It's Drama-Free Friday International Edition. It is. It is. Got to get my computers where I can see things a little bit more. You know, I can see close up really well. My distance vision, I was talking to somebody about that the other day. My distance vision is not great. It never has been. And, yeah, my distance vision is not all that and a bag of chips. The good news is when I get away from, I get from about here, if I take my glasses off from about here, out, everything's in this wonderful soft focus. I don't even need a camera lens to achieve it, or a camera setting. Hi, Judy. Hi, Dorothy. Diane, welcome. I don't recognize your name, Diane, so welcome. I don't know if you're new. Hi, Kathy. Purple Nana. Hi, Amber. Good to see you. Hi, Rhonda. CB is in the house. Hi, Denise. Barbara Clark. I'm going to keep you on your toes today. Hi, Noit. Why am I going to keep you on your toes today? You're the same, Purple? I'm sorry, Purple, I can't remember your name. What is wrong with me? Deborah? I don't know. Hey, Ann Laura, good to see you. Remember to dream. Yes, make your dreams come true. I'm starting early. Oh, a little bit, yeah. I just thought I'd come on, just chat, since I wasn't here last week. Did you guys miss me last week? Did you remember I was going to be gone? I hope. Who did I miss? Did I miss Linda? Oh, Linda. Purple Nana is Linda. God. What is wrong with me? There's so many Lindas. I should be able to remember that. Apologies, Linda. If I just call you Purple, you'll know. Let's see. Hi, Carla. Noe said she missed me. I missed you guys. But I had the best, most awesome weekend. Awesome weekend. Yes, it was an awesome weekend. I'll tell you about it as we get going. Friday felt weird. Did it feel weird because I wasn't here? Shu missed me. Hi, Mickey. It was wonderful, Mickey. It was so wonderful. It was so wonderful. What a blessing. What a blessing in my life to get to share my granddaughter's first Mother's Day. The greatest gift ever. It was the greatest gift ever that I was given. It really was. I'm so grateful. Hello, Starla. Hi, Sandy. You did remember? Okay, good. I was up to no good. I was up to so much good you can't imagine. You just can't imagine how much good I was up to. I had the most wonderful time. If you hear a lot of, not too many shopping stories, really, but wonderful stories, but not too many shopping stories. Oh, it's your first time, Diane? Well, good. Good. Thank you, Anne. Thank you. I agree with you. That may just sound as egotistical as can be, but I agree with you. Things were rough the last few years. I'm telling you, things were rough, but you know what? I got through it. Yeah, Dorothy's going to believe me. Hi, Marion. Great-grandmother sounds too old for me. Well, the situation is this granddaughter is not my blood relation. And I technically could not be her grandmother. I'm not old enough to be her grandmother technically. I don't miss it by too much. But she is definitely my granddaughter by choice. She is my daughter by choice. Her mother has passed away a couple of years ago. And so I am her mother / grandmother by choice. And so, yeah, what a neat thing. What a neat thing. Okay, Amber, good to have you here. Hello, Elvis. Elvis is in the building, you guys. Elvis is in the house. And Chance is in the house. Are you coming up to say hello? I got to get rid of the illegal fluids first. Yeah. All right. Come here. I hope you guys don't mind, but someone's going to join us. Yeah, come on. Oh. I have to say I haven't recovered totally from the tiredness. I was tired before I left. What am I talking about? Yes, here is Chance. He's going to show his hiney to the world. All right, let's see if we can put you on here so you can see everybody. Oh, sorry, terrible camera work. That was really awful. I apologize for that. That was really bad. Oh my goodness. Let me just tell you, if Race is here and watching, he will chastise me to no end after that. Don't tell him. If he's not here, don't tell him what I just did. I'm never supposed to move the camera after I put the shot on. Don't tell, okay, you guys? It's a secret. All right, here's Chance. Get around here so they can see your pretty face. Yes, so your pretty face. Charlie's on the floor. I don't know if you can see him if I move. Well, now he's coming over here. All right, come here. All right, come on. Get up here. See if you can behave, huh? See if you can behave yourself. We call these two guys the sponsors of the stream. This is Charlie. If you've never been here before, this is Charlie with his goopy looking eyes and his yucky face. He's a good boy, but he is not grooming himself very well anymore, are you? And he's just likely to have just super messy face and a messy nose. We have to keep him cleaned up. Yeah, because he's not very good at doing that anymore. And this is Chance. This one is Chance. What you got on you? They're always into something. They're rolling around. They're biting on each other. Here we go. Again, terrible camera work, but oh well. Hi, Joan. Hi, Joan. Yeah, sometimes they let me stream, and that's why we call them the sponsors. That's why we call them the sponsors. Yes, we do. Yes. Boy, let me tell you, they missed me. They missed Mama when she was gone. Hey, Lena, hello. I'm telling you, they missed Mama when Mama was gone. Yes, they did. I don't think Muppet missed me too much. She was in pretty good shape. But these two, when I got home, they're like, oh, you're back. Oh. I know. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. So nice to have you here. Lena, did you stream earlier today? Or early? Yeah. Hey, Kathy. Oh, you're fine. You're on time. I started early, just chatting with people, so everybody had a chance to get notifications and get here and lay down, Charlie. Yeah. Hi, Joyce. Moonlit Rose. It's Joyce Rigby. Yeah, that's great. Is Sherry here? Did I see Sherry? We have lots of Sherrys in the group. So hello to all the Sherrys. Hi, Terry from Indy. Who else? We have lots of Sherrys, lots of Barbs, lots of Lindas. So hello to everyone. We're just shooting the breeze for a minute. Just shooting the breeze. Poster paint. Oh, how fun. Oh, good. Well, I never get to see you live because it's Friday. If you guys don't subscribe to Lena's channel, she's Miss Linux 2010. If you don't subscribe to her channel, you need to do that. She is doing some incredible, absolutely incredible things lately. She always does incredible things, but I've really enjoyed watching her lately. What kind of garp do you have in your fur? Yep, when I watch Lena's streams, it takes me usually several days to watch them, but I will watch them beginning to end. I do. I know, aren't they sweet? Aren't they sweet boys? They love to have their scritches on their chin. Whoops. Yeah, a little close, Charlie. You're kind of confusing the camera. He's likely to get up. He will likely get up and try to rub his head on the camera. So we're going to give them sponsor time, so that maybe when sponsor time is over with, I can put them in the sewing room back here, right here in that, behind that door with all the pockets on it. Put them in there with some catnip. Maybe they'll leave me alone for a while. Hey, Aunt Beck. Hi, Nanette. Not very many Joyces. That's true. That is true. Hey, Tori. Nice to see you. Yeah, handsome boys. They are handsome boys. Yeah, what time is it? 1 o'clock. Okay, you guys ready to go get in the other room so I can start the stream? You think you can? All right, so everybody had their that is so true, CB. Lena is fearless and she will try any style or medium. She does, and it's always great. And 2 Marians. Yes. Yep, we have 2 Marians. I know. Hey, Carol. Carol has I haven't watched her for a couple weeks, but she's does a show usually on the weekend, 1 or 2 shows on the weekend with stitchery. So yeah, if you're interested in stitchery, you should check out Carol's the Magical Touch Studio, and notice the way that magical is spelled so you can look it up correctly. Lena says she thinks her audience is even more fearless by showing up. Yeah. And Becky has a stream. I don't know exactly when Becky's streaming now, but Becky streams. There's lots of people here that are streaming. Yeah. All right. I'm going to see if I can put the sponsors away. Then we're going to get started. Yeah. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes, you get to go too. Bribery. Bribery. It works every time. Yes, it does. All right, you go in here with your buddy. Go in here. You go. There you go. Yes. Okay, we've had the sponsor viewing, and there's Becky's. Okay, we got channel links going in. That's great. All right, so it is officially time to start. I try to start a little bit early just to kind of give people a chance to show up before we get going. Okay, so anyway, here we go. It is the very best possible drama-free Friday because it's Friday the 13th. In case you didn't know, it's Friday the 13th. Therefore, it is the best possible international version of Drama-Free Friday. My name is Barb Owen of HowToGetCreative.com, and I am so glad to have you here today. It is wonderful to have all of you guys here, each and every one of you. I'm so glad you're here, every one of you. And so it's going to be a fun day. Best Drama-Free Friday ever. Why do we call it Drama-Free Friday? Well, we call it that because there's just too darn much drama in the world. That's why. There is too much. There is too much drama in the world, and so for a couple of hours every week on a Friday, we just pretend, we suspend everything, and we just pretend everything's fine with the world, right? And I missed seeing you guys last week because I was out of town. If anyone's new and didn't know, I stream every Friday, if at all possible. There will be some exceptions probably throughout the summer. And I have a thing I have to tell you about for September. Let me put this in here so I'll remember to tell you. I don't have details about the September thing yet, but it's coming. So there will be some random Fridays when I won't be here, but and I don't know that I'll get uploads put up in between times. I'm just kind of getting back into doing some of that. My energy level isn't quite up to snuff yet. It's coming, but it's not quite up there yet. So I'm kind of having to be, patience is not really a virtue of mine, which must be why I keep getting chances to perfect that. And so anyway, as far as where I was last week, I was with my granddaughter. And my daughter, I call her. And she is just amazing. She is an amazing person whom I love with all of my heart. And I'll show you who I went to see. Okay, you ready for this? Okay, are you ready for this? See if I can get my... This is a very super unprofessional way to show this to you. This is my granddaughter's baby. This is my great granddaughter. Her name is Emily, and she is the love. She's my new love of my life. She was 7 months old yesterday. Get a load of those eyes. Yes, and she has never seen me before. And when she came to me, you know what she did? I know, look at her. And look at me. That's how happy I was. When she came to me, she just melted into my shoulder. Just melted into my shoulder. She was adorable. I'll show you who else I went to see. Gotta find a picture. Okay, this is the mommy. I know. Don't anybody give me a bunch of grief for the camera work here. This is my daughter. She has Emily, who's asleep in a sling. I think that's what it's called. And she uses that a lot, and she does housework and all kinds of stuff with the baby swaddled on her like that. I don't know that I could have ever done that, but I wasn't. When I was her age, maybe I could have. Look at the radiance of her mama. That is my daughter. She's beautiful. She's wonderful. She smiles like that all the time. Yeah, isn't that great? Anyway, that's where I was. So here's the deal. They have a babysitter. She and her husband have a babysitter who is expecting a baby the first part of June. And so they called me the other day and they said, that if they ran into a snag where they needed an emergency babysitter, would I come babysit? And I said, oh, let me think. Yes. So if that happens, I will be taking off on the spur of the moment and flying down to Alabama where they live and helping them with babysitting. I know it's just painful, but by golly, somebody's got to do it. So if there is a random, I know Joan, right? She is lovely. She is wonderful. She is just, I felt so, I will start crying, I know, because I will gush too much. But I felt so loved and so special to get to be there with them. And of course, the visit wasn't long enough, but they never are. You know, they never are. And so I may be called back for Gram duty. That's what Christy, the mama, calls me. She calls me Gram. So I may be called back for Gram duty or great Gram duty. I don't know. So if I am not here some random Fridays, I'll try to get word out on social media. But, you know, if something happens and I just have to go hang out with a certain baby, it might happen. I know, Sherry, I know. Is Zandra here? Hi, Zandra. So anyway, so that's where I was last weekend. And yeah, how cool is that? I will miss a couple of Fridays in June, but I will let you know about that. The first and second Fridays in June, well, I'll just tell you now, first and second Fridays in June, I will not be here. So just mark that on your calendar. So you will miss me for a couple of weeks unless we can do some sort of mobile, you know, remote stream, which might happen. So anyway, the reason I'm going to be out of town is there are a couple of, you know, dates can be triggering. Not the date, but the associated memory with the date. And there's a couple of real sticky dates, potentially, for me in June. Those of you that don't know, my husband passed away a few months ago. And after taking care of him for a while, quite a while, felt like forever, you know, loved him dearly, but dealing with dementia is quite the adventure, Anyway, there's a couple of real potentially sticky dates for me in June associated with our life together. And I thought, I think it would be best if I were in a different location. And so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I appreciate everyone's patience and tolerance and love and support as I work my way through this this whole journey here. For the most part, I can talk about it now. That's huge. For the most part, I can deal with the whole journey, you know. I'm always surprised at what things kind of catch me off guard. And it doesn't happen very often now, so, you know, things are looking up. So anyway, I know, right, Joyce? Hi, Ellen. So anyway, that's what's going to be happening. The babysitting duty would be spur of the moment. The rest of the things that I have are planned. So we'll see. Okay, one other thing. In September, a lot of you probably know Kyla Givehand. She's been on the show with me before. And she has Giving Hands Creative is her, I believe, is her website name. She has different groups that she's had online. And I talked to her yesterday, and she and her husband Damon are now they've taken over an art retreat business. And so she called and we talked a long time yesterday, and she asked if I would be willing to come. And hi, Gail. Good to see you. Linda McAllister's in the house. Linda, welcome. So she asked me if I would be one of her teachers. in September. And this is in the Squam Lake. I think it's Squam Lake in New Hampshire. So it should be beautiful. I don't know if we'll be there in time for the leaves to change. Usually that's probably in October. Anyway, I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity. So I'm going to get to travel and I'm going to get to teach live and in person. So it's the middle of September, and so I think she said in June, not very long from now, she's going to be opening pre-registration, and not actual registration yet, but the pre-registration, so you can get your name on the list. And as I believe she said, we talked about a lot of stuff yesterday. I think you give a deposit, a small deposit. I don't know what the charges are, anything. I don't know anything about it yet. But I'm going to do it. So I know, right, CB? Yeah. So if anybody, thank you, Joan. Thank you, Barbara. Anybody that is interested in that, you can chase down Kyla, K-I-A-L-A, Givehand, G-I-V-E-H-A-N-D. She's active on Instagram, and I don't know about Twitter, and I don't know about Facebook. She probably is, but I know she's active on Instagram, so you can chase her down there for more information. But it's the middle part of September. Don't know what I'm going to do yet, because we just talked about it yesterday. She said, I know, right, Zandra? I'm telling you, to be able to go do this, you guys, I am so grateful. I am one of the luckiest people on this planet. I really am. I really, really am. My life has been blessed, and I am very lucky, and I am so grateful to be right here, right now, to be able to do the things that I'm getting to do now that I haven't been able to do for so long, and I am so grateful. So, anyway. Hey, Debbie. Yeah. Marion took one of Kyla's classes. Yeah, she is really good. She is really good at what she does. She's very inspiring. She makes me think differently. And for the first time, I'm going to get to meet her in person. We've met online a number of times, done Zoom things and various things. But this will be the first time I get to be with her in person. And be with all of you, whoever comes to that retreat. So, yeah. Isn't that great? Oh, thank you, Becky. Hey, Tam. Okay, so stay tuned for news. As that gets ironed out, I will give you more details. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, you all. I'm so excited. And I do mean when I tell you that I am the luckiest person on this planet right now, in my opinion. I mean it totally. So, anyway, okay. One last announcement, then we're going to play a few minutes. VIP class is tomorrow. If you have not received your email, or if you've not checked your email, check it, because the email went out earlier today. So check that. This is because we didn't get to do it last week. And so check that. Okay. I was cleaning things up. I had a young visitor in my studio a few weeks ago. Wish we had more fun. She's 11. We had so much fun together, and this little girl, she's not a little girl. She's a little girl to me because of my age, but she is not a little girl. She wouldn't like it if I called her a little girl, but she came and spent an afternoon with me in the studio. I just enjoyed having her here so much. And my studio in about 2 hours looked like a giant bomb had gone off in it. It kind of looks like that anyway, but it was even worse. The email went out, Dorothy. That's all I can tell you. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Keep looking. Look in your junk and your spam folder and whatever else. It went out early this morning. You should have gotten it by now. So I'm not sure what to tell you. Okay, what else? So when I was showing her some things, so I was cleaning up earlier today, and I thought, oh, we'll just have a quick review, because I was explaining to her about my goofy relatives, and I thought, well, we should just celebrate the goofy relatives just one more time, right? Just one more time. This is my family. This is my family album. Okay? This is my family album, and this is Friends Are God's Apology for Your Family. And then over here this is a quote from Wayne Dyer. And over here it says, if you met my family, you would understand. It's very true. Anyway, so these are all the goofy relatives. So this is my family photo album. I have not given them names yet. As you can see, they all resemble me quite. You should be able to see the resemblance, I'm sure. I did this in 2019. Yes. So that was in that album. And while I was dragging stuff out to show my young friend, I thought, I got these out and I thought, oh, we haven't looked at these for a while. Oh, what the heck, we'll look at them, right? We'll look at them for a minute. So let's see what we have here. So these are more albums of goofy relatives. So here's, and a lot of these have names. Most of these got named because you guys helped me name them when I was doing these. These are inspired from a class I did with Carla Sondheim. She does them very differently than I do them, but that's where the original concept came from. It was part of her Faces class, which I believe is still available online. It was a fun class. So this is Nico and his family of freaks. So they all have captions because I don't know why, they just do. This was not great watercolor paper, so some of the colors in this are a little bizarre. This is Oscar, and he has a twin Roscoe, and so this is Sir Bradford. Of course, he's a sir. Now bow down. Yeah, don't we all have relatives like that want you to bow down to them? Hot Flash Vera. She's a little toasty there. She says, if you think it's hot out there, you should be in here. Amen to that. If any of you have ever experienced that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll tell you something funny though. My neighbor next door is he's dealing with some issues, and he's having to take estrogen shots. I warned him about what that was going to do to his body, and so we've had several discussions about what that does to your body and how that makes you feel and how it keeps you up at night and it makes you light up from the inside of your body. So I gave him several hints. So having had experience with that just a few years ago, I've been able to help my male neighbor. Isn't that funny? Anyway, so here, instead of holding this up to the camera, I don't know why I'm doing that. This makes a ton more sense. I told you I'm kind of tired. This is the Reverend Shag Nasty. He says services are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 a.m. Be there. If you've ever been to a church like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is Violet Darla, and she says, I only wanted to get my hair frosted, and this happened. Yeah. This is Buck Frazzle. He says, I love my hair, all 5 of them. Yeah. I love doing these silly things. This is Sandy. I'm related to Sir Bradford. I'll be Sir Sandy anytime. And this is Kirk. He says, y'all come back now, you hear? He has hair in his ears. And this is Sean Claude. He says, oui, oui, mon ami. Mm-hmm. Hi, Angie. And here's a few more. This is Biff. He says, I'm a big, important freak. So what? This is Mildred. She loves her new perm. Yes, she does. Poor thing. Haven't we all? If you've lived long enough, you've had perms like that. We have. If you've lived long enough, you've had a perm like that. One of my sisters went to beauty school right out of high school, and she's 8 years older than I am, so I was probably 10 or 11. And she used to, right, Ann? Men, right? Men. Heavy on the men. Anyway, my sister went to beauty school, and then she would practice. She would come home it was a couple hours away from here. She'd come home periodically and practice. And oh my goodness, permanent waves were not what they are now. And yeah, I had some perms. So did my mom. Yeah, we did. Hi, Terry. Yes, exactly, Terry. Right. Anybody in the 80s. This is Sarge. He says, seriously, I got to get a better hairpiece. Doesn't it look like he has a hairpiece? Alfred, what can I say? I love me some cool earrings. Yep, he does. He loves his earrings. This is Rupert, and he says, hey, y'all. And this is Ted, and he doesn't know what happened to his neck. I know. Poor thing. Anyway, so that's one book. So we'll talk about those. Here's just some random relatives, because sometimes you just got to do random relatives. These guys don't have names. They just have strange looks about them. This poor thing, when I put the black on to give her some hair, it ran into her face. That's why she looks like that. You cannot control the outcome of these. Yeah, you can't control the outcome, so you just go with what you get. Hi, Lisa. And anybody I missed? Angie, hello. You just get what you get, and then you just make something out of it. You just can't be afraid of these guys. So anyway, there's that one. There's plenty more where that came from, So here's some more of these guys. Sometimes I name them, sometimes I don't. This is a book structure called a do-si-do. So you have books on 2 books on one side and 1 on the other, or you have more if you make more folds. But do-si-do, I believe, is the name of it. So I'll just leaf through these so you can see them. I'm related to each and every one of these people, unfortunately, or fortunately. Just depends on how you look at it, huh? I know. Oh, it did arrive? Okay, Dorothy, good. Good. That was on the slow email train today. So, yeah, sometimes I really like the long necks. And poor thing, I don't know what happened to him. Well, I know what happened to him, but I don't know what happened to him. What happened was, you have the timing of these is really important. So when you put the paint down, this is watercolor. We put the watercolor down, you have to let it sit just a little bit before you add the color for the hair, because if you do it the least little bit too soon, that's what happens. And they look like they've got a bad birthmark or something. I like this guy. I think he turned out pretty funny. Mother and daughter, huh? I've seen guys with hairdos like that, haven't you? She looks like her hair's maybe her choker's a little too tight. Poor thing. Hi, Jan. So funny lady. So here are the rest. She looks like an old-fashioned school marm to me. Anyway, I'm just going through these just because they happen to be on my desk. Some of them I really like. Like, I really like him. He reminds me of Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy. This one I don't like. I don't know why. So I probably was related to her if I didn't like her. I like him a lot. She's a goofball. So I call these goofy relatives or found relatives. Another mother and daughter. I like him. So that is, oh, and then here, so those were the 2 books on this side over here. And then these are just blobs of watercolor. And once I put down the blobs of watercolor, that one guy was shaped like a hot water bottle. I know, right, Sherry, for sure. So these are just blobs of watercolor, and then it's just making something out of them. And again, some of them I really like, some of them I don't. I like this guy. Some of them are just so funny, you know, they're so silly, but literally I just blob down some watercolor, let it dry, and then see, you know, see what you see. I like her a lot. She's one of my favorite characters. You'll see her again. I like this one too, the elephant. There's that one. Some of them are just so weird, they defy, you know, description. This one's saying his prayers. This one, this was the blob, and then I painted the bed around it because it's like there's got to be some reason that that thing is positioned like that. And here we are at the end. This was done in 2014. The end. I don't know if you guys find these as amusing as I do. It doesn't take a lot to entertain myself. So there's those. And then I think I've got a couple more. That one's nothing. Are you bored yet? This one is nothing. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this one we did a story. I know. Brace yourself. Story time with Barb. Whoops. So story time with Barb. This is one of my mandalas. In case you don't know, mandalas are one of my things, and so this is one of mine that I turned into a sticker. If you're interested in having your own Mandala Madness cards, this is a deck of 48 cards. You can get these. This mandala right here is included in the deck, but I don't think it's in this, what I have left with these cards right now. Anyway, there are 48 cards. They are nice big cards, bigger than an iPhone, much bigger than a regular deck of cards. But there's a mandala on the front. There's an inspiring word. There is a quote on the back, and there is a suggestion for doodling or adding to your mandalas. And there is also a free course that comes with the purchase of the deck. So there's a link to that in the description box below the video. Anyway, they're called Mandala Madness inspiration cards. And so this is one of the mandalas, which I turned into a sticker. That's funny, Marion. Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay, so this is my family photos. This was in January of 2019. So you can see that I have many photo albums, and this one I wrote a story about. I think you guys helped me. So Grandma Maddie loves purple so much that she dyes her hair a beautiful amethyst. She's an amazing pie baker with her specialty strawberry rhubarb that is requested for every carry-in dinner. So there she is. You'll see a lot of similarities from one character to another because I get on these kicks where I really like this one character, and so it's kind of like Lena. I don't know if she's still here, but Lena has this great aunt, and she takes that great aunt, and she's much more creative than I ever thought about being with her great aunt, and she has done so many things, images with this great aunt. I think that's what she called her. So funny, so funny. Anyway, so, but it's kind of like that. You get onto a face, you get onto a character, and you sort of keep her around. Fourth cousin Petunia Rose has every color hair bow to decorate. Sorry, I can't even read straight. Decorate her sweet curls. She's always happy and spreads joy wherever she goes. So this is cousin Petunia Rose. This is Billy Bob. Billy Bob is a neighbor kid who always arrives at dinner time. He feels like family, so we call him Little Brother. And everybody had a Billy Bob in their family somewhere, didn't they? That kid that always shows up when you're just ready to eat. This is Cousin Betty. Poor thing. Cousin Betty is a bit eccentric, but she would do anything for anyone. She spends her day stitching cozy quilts for sick children in the hospital. She says that the next best thing to being wrapped up in loving arms is being wrapped up in a quilt. Well, amen to that. Indeed. This is Aunt Willa. Look at this. Aunt Willa loves to garden and enjoys sharing the bounty she raises with her friends and relatives. I gotta say, as relatives go, this batch of relatives, they're giving nice people. You know, they're pretty good folks. This is Dear Delilah. Dear Delilah is a very studious child. She is a voracious reader, and she loves to tutor younger kids because she thinks that reading creates imagination, and you can be anything and go anywhere if you can imagine. And that is the truth about that. This is Crazy Cousin Carl. Crazy Cousin Carl works for the local Harley dealer. Although he has a rough exterior, Carl has a heart of gold. And this is, let's see, make sure I didn't skip any. This is Auntie Lottie. The best cook in our family is definitely Auntie Lottie. Her specialty is the mouth-watering old family favorite roast beef and Dutch dumplings. Okay, now, story behind Dutch dumplings. There really is a dish called Dutch dumplings in my family. It was a dish that was created back, I think, on my dad's side of the family. And it's basically a homemade noodle. It's a flat noodle, but it's thicker than, you know, like egg noodles. And you cook them for a while, and you cook them in, like make a roast, and you use the broth that's left from the roast. You can do them with chicken or beef. And then you make the Dutch dumplings, you roll them out, you cut them. You have to cut them with this certain kind of cutter. It has a zigzag edge on it. Don't taste right if you do it, you know, straight edges. Nope. Has to have the zigzag edges. I have the original Dutch dumpling cutter from my family that I don't remember who made it, but it was made with an old coin, and whoever made it, you know, cut the edges. And so it looks kind of like a rotary cutter, except it's a Dutch dumpling cutter. So there really is a dish called Dutch dumplings in my family. It has nothing to do with Dutch. Nothing. Anyway, she makes that. This is Sister Mary Lou. Sister Mary Lou is hoping that her Prince Charming shows up before her next birthday, which is a big one. So I don't know how big it could be because she doesn't look very old. But anyway, if she only knew how young and beautiful she really is. Isn't that the truth? We don't know. We don't know how thin or how good we looked when we were young. We all thought we were fat and ugly. Cousin Hal. Cousin Hal is no ordinary Joe. He shows signs of being a successful entrepreneur, and he's only 13. Go Hal. And this is nephew Roy. Roy is an enigma. Even if he didn't have a bird in his hair, he would be the most unique guy at every gathering. Because the old saying goes, put a bird on it, right? Cousin Tim is back from touring the world last year. He's full of stories, which he tells in a most fascinating way. Tim's latest news is that he's getting married this year. And this is Uncle Oscar. How we all love his eccentric ways. In real life, he's a rocket scientist, but his alter ego is a tailor, and he sews all of his own clothes. There you have it, my somewhat odd yet wonderful family. That's the end of that book. I know, right? But wait, there's more. Yes. Who else do we have here? Hey, Bitten. I know. Welcome to Drama Free Friday. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're all here. All right, this little book we'll save for another day. I got to start doing something. I'm getting sleepy. So if you can't figure out what else to do, you know, when you exhaust all the drawing and all the whatevers, so then what you do is you turn them into, what else? Fabric. So this is I told you as I was going through one of the books that this was one of my favorite characters, so I rendered her in fabric. This is also one of my favorites. That's the elephant. I rendered him in fabric. And then they can be turned into ATCs, so that's where those came from. Not to be outdone, when I started painting years ago, when my son was really little, I started doing an oil painting class, and it was decorative painting, but it was all in oils. one of the projects we did was called a family tree. And this family tree was a board that was about, I think, 4.5 or 5 inches wide, and it was as long as you needed it to be for getting your family on it. And I did one of those for my mother and dad. There were 5 of us girls in the family. And the cool part about this family tree is you could customize it. It was all done with oil paint, so of course it took it forever to dry. I would do it much faster now with acrylics because I switched to acrylics. And it was a really fun project to do. So from that concept, I made my own family tree in fabric. And so this is the family tree. So it starts here. You can, if you remember any of the characters from the previous sightings, you'll notice some of them here. I did not put names on them, but each one of these is created on wool felt with different kinds of cotton fabrics and stitching. And so this is my rendition of my family done in fabric to create my own family tree. There's the guy I like so much. And then down here I wrote the family. So there's the back of it. So this actually could be put on the wall someplace, but I never did do it. I think we did this in something like it in one of the VIP classes where I just showed how to do it in fabric. And then this was like the big example. Anyway, aren't they funny? Funny. So yeah, so if you are dying to have some relatives, as I was cleaning up, I thought, well, I'll show them these today because you can get these on Teespring. These are stickers based on those relatives, and so there are several sets. These are just bits and pieces of things. So these are the fancies. So these are kind of the leftover collection. They're the uncles, and so here are more of the uncles. So you can see how these go together. So there's the complete set. Those are the uncles. You have to cut these out, but they are stickers. Here are the cousins, and there are the aunties, and I don't remember how many sets. Anyway, they're on Teespring, so you can click on Teespring, and then there's a grouping of sentiments, so you can use those if you want them to make cards or whatever. Anyway, so these are the ones I currently have that I haven't used. I use them on greeting cards and ATCs and stuff like that. So anyway, if you don't want to do your own, then you can get some on Teespring if you're dying to have them. Yep, there you go. Okay, enough of that. So I thought what we would do today is I had a request for doing some Bible journaling. I don't Bible journal the way other people do. I think we all kind of take our own spin on it. And so I thought we'd do a little bit today. And since I've kind of been away for a while, seemed like I was away for a long time. If you don't enjoy the concept or want to do Bible journaling, like this is the Bible that I'm going to use. I've shown this before, and I'll show you a little bit more as we get into it. This is the Bible that I think this is an absolutely stunningly beautiful version. I love the cover and everything. If you're not into that, then pick a book. If you want to try this, you can pick a book that is particularly meaningful for you. Or you can just pick any book and you can start journaling in it the way that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you an easy way to do it. But what you want to do is look for books. If you like a lot of space to draw or to write and that kind of stuff, then get a book something like this where there's lots of white space. The Bible that I have over here is not that. It does not have a lot of white space, but I'm still making it work. So anyway, this one has lots of room. You also want to be this one not so much, but you want to be a little careful with the paper that you choose. If it's real coated glossy paper, it's going to be hard for the ink and the pencil to adhere to it. But if, on contrast, if you get one with that super porous, like newsprint kind of paper, that's going to just make ink bleed like crazy. So you'll have to do a little bit of testing to see what kinds of pencils or pens or whatever work best in your particular book. So as I said, we're going to work in this. What do you mean no Teespring? Hey, Carla. Bye, Carla. Good to see you. You mean there's no link to the Teespring? I'm not sure. Is Mary here? Hey, Mary. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so I've shown you a little bit of this before. I just started doing this not very long ago. This does not have a lot of space in it for art journaling. And by the way, if you want to see some real art journaling in the Bible journaling, you again go back to Lena's channel, Miss Linux 2010. Beautiful, beautiful renditions of illustrations. That is not what I do. And so that's not what you're going to see here. We're going to take the easy route. Barb does the easy route, but Lena does beautiful illustrations. So yeah, check her out. So what I choose to do most of the time is I will look, take a section or a passage or a verse or whatever and pick out the words that are particularly meaningful to me. And then I'll use the words and some embellishment around the page. And so that's exactly what I've done. And some of these have stickers. You just can kind of do whatever floats your boat, whatever you like to do. I like the borders around the page. This doesn't have any words, but it could. This, I just pulled the words out of whatever the devotion that was here. And this is a sticker, and this is a rub-on. Some of these are rub-ons, and some of these are stickers that I embellished. And some people have a complete and utter aversion to doing this in a Bible, which I completely understand too. So that's why I suggested that maybe you would take a different kind of book that you found meaningful and do that. So anyway, those are some of the things. So I thought, all right, we'll go over here. And then we did butterflies a couple weeks ago. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did butterflies. These are vellum butterflies. The vellum was decorated with alcohol inks. And then I just stuck, and they're die cut and embossed. And then I put score tape, real thin score tape, on the bodies of the butterflies. And I folded them so that one wing is, so that the whole body would fit on one page. And put them in here. And this was about, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future, which was particularly important to me at that particular day. And so that's where I put the butterflies. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to come over here. I was looking in James this week, and I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun. We'll just do something with James. So here's how I approach it. Get tracing paper. You can go straight into bye, Becky. You can go straight into a book without using tracing paper, or if you want a safety net, then you can use tracing paper. And I didn't even realize I had picked up premium tracing paper, but that's what this is. And it's really heavy. It's not quite as heavy as vellum, but it's heavier than normal tracing paper. So if you want the stuff that you might be able to hang on to and keep for future use, see if you can find the premium stuff. It's a little more expensive than the regular one. Anyway, I was surprised that I made that mistake. It was a mistake. So I thought what we would do is, let's see. I kind of did some plot planning ahead of time. So I thought we would use this section over here because there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room to write. So we'll use this one. And so what I did, I'm just going to put these under here to level the book a little bit. So if you're if you're like this, you know, with this kind of a book where it's going to be way off balance, then just put some other books underneath it. So what I did was I went through and I read this. This is just a devotion kind of part of this. And so then I took my tracing paper, kind of figured out what I wanted to say, and just kind of laid it out here so I sort of know what I want it to do. I'm not going to trace this. I'm just laying this out so I kind of know where I'm headed. And then it will turn out differently, I'm sure, because I'm not going to trace it. I'm just going to use this as inspiration. So we'll start here. And all I did was to pull out words. And like I said, I don't do illustrations with images because that's not my strong point. Words, on the other hand, words I can do. Words I can do. As long as I spell them right, which doesn't always happen. But yeah, we're going to do words. So I just pulled some words out of the devotional thing, and the important things, the things that spoke to me. You know, next week or next year or whatever, those words may not be what they are today, but I don't care. If I need to, I'll buy a different Bible and I'll journal something else, you know? Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to I pulled out the words live with passion from this section. Live with passion and strength. It's right here. You need to live with passion and strength. And I thought, that's a good message. That's a good message. So we're going to do that. So I'm just going to use this, which is my inspiration. Hello, monkey. Hi, Linda. You love the butterflies. I do too. I do too. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, you guys. Let's just play. So we're going to do, and it does not matter to me how this turns out. I know that may freak some of you out, but it doesn't make any difference how it turns out. So there we go. All right, so we're just going to start. And I'm doing this a little darker than I would normally do it, because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. And it may come out the way I drew it, and it may not. All right, live with passion. And see, if you screw it up, then you just use I like the white plastic erasers like this, the stick eraser. That is what I find erases the most cleanly, so that's what I use. And so I'm just going to put and then I like dots when I'm trying to continue a thought, so regardless of where it overlaps here, that's okay with me. And strength. It is good to do this in pencil first for obvious reasons. I can still manage to screw it up, though, I will tell you, because I have done that. But I'm just going to lay this out, and then we'll put it together and see what happens. Okay? And then on this end, I'm going to come this way. And then, because I've got perfect places for flowers with big petals, hopefully you can see this, I'm going to just add some flowers on the dots of the eyes, because I love these big floppy flowers. So that's going to be, and there happen to be 3 eyes, so it keeps it kind of balanced. So that's just pure happenstance. Anyway, down here, I'm going to write the word, the part down here, where did I pull this out? Oh, I don't know. I don't even know where I pulled it, so it doesn't make any difference. So I'm going to use my joy brings strength. Okay? For me, joy is a really, oh, thank you, Jan. You are nice. You are so sweet. Illegal fluids. One of the things that when you go through a really rocky, difficult, challenging, extraordinarily questionable time, which seemed like it's going to live on forever, as it did for me, it steals your joy, because you let it, and because fatigue settles in and stress settles in, and the next thing you know, everything settles on you like a blanket, a really heavy blanket, and your joy goes away, and your every positive feeling can just melt away, and it either gets replaced by negative, those powerful eruptive negative feelings, or in my case it just like took it all, it just took it all, everything went away. So to feel joyful again, and when I told you earlier, those of you that weren't here, I made the statement that I am the luckiest person on the planet, in my opinion, and that's how I honestly feel. I'm tired. I'm recovering still, but I feel so lucky to be here, and feeling that, and feeling this attitude of being blessed, truly blessed. My joy has begun to return in spades, and over the top. So joy is really important to me. That's why and strength. Those are things that are really important to me. That's why they're in this section. Okay, back to the page at hand. So what I'm going to write down in this nice blank space is my joy brings strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the word strength first of all, because it's nice and big. So I'm going to start in the middle of the word and try to space it out. And I really don't care what I cover up. I'm not a calligrapher, so it doesn't make any difference. It's just going to be what it's going to be. Okay, so writing words backwards is awfully tricky for me. Okay, good enough. Moving on. Best words my son ever said to me. When we did a lot of work together. We have done many projects together with him in California and me here. Many remote projects we've done, and a lot of recording things, a lot of video things where he was directing me. I would have earbuds in, or he'd be talking to me over my speakerphone on my phone, and he'd be directing me, and he would have me say the same thing over and over and over and over again until he got what it was he was looking for, what he was listening for, and what he was watching for. Any of you that see any of our promotional stuff that we do, he's directing me. That is not me doing it. That is him directing me and pulling it out of me like pulling teeth. This is not an easy, I'm probably giving away too many secrets. This is not an easy job for me. I am really a very introverted, shy person. I know you can't believe that, but it's the truth. And for him to get that, what he's after, he just works and works and works. And the best words he ever says to me is, good enough, moving on. So I have adopted that philosophy. Yes. All right. So the other words I want to include here are because it is true, my joy brings okay, so you can kind of see, oh Chris, that's very sweet of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so I did. CB, I did record that book. Absolutely I did. And I'm going to tell you something. You want to know how many times I recorded that book? Any of you that heard the book, it's available on Audible. We have it on CD. It's on every form you can have. This is my book, Normal Doesn't Live Here Anymore. It's a story of taking care of my parents when I was a caregiver for them. And so I wrote a book, thinking I knew about caregiving, Huh. Let's just say it's one chapter in the caregiving saga of my life. And we recorded that. Okay, get a picture of this. Since we're digressing a little bit, and I'm letting you behind the scenes. Claus Man, of course, was still here at the time because we published the book in 2011. And so we took a bedroom in my house. We turned it into a recording studio. So I have foam up on the walls, to deaden the sound. And it's in the room that's the furthest away from all the activity in the house, which, based on the shape of my house, that's kind of hard to do. But anyway, and so Claus Man would get instructed, because he didn't hear well, he would get instructed, you have to keep the TV off, or you have to keep it really low, or you have to go the furthest corner from where I am, and you can watch TV. And, hi dear. Welcome. So the way this recording worked, because I'm not on video, I have earbuds in my ears. I have my laptop over to my right. I have recording equipment that Race has sent me with very specific instructions as to how to set it up. So I have a microphone right here. I have the recording equipment, which is controlled by the computer, which he's controlling from California. Okay, get a picture of that. So he's talking to me in my ears. There's the computer, the audio equipment, foam all over the place. I'm having to skinny into this little space. I have a thing set up with the book on pages, because we would set it up. We're going to try to get through X number of pages today. And it's a hefty book. So we would set the pages up, and I couldn't make noise. I couldn't make noise with my mouth. I couldn't make noise with my fingers. I couldn't. And we were breaking it up into paragraphs. Sometimes we could only do a couple sentences. Okay, so he's over here, and he's going, okay, this time when you do this, because we would decide how much I was going to speak. He said, this time when you do it, I want you to picture, because I wasn't getting into the real storytelling of it to suit him. He said, this one time when you do this, I want you to be in a car. Just pretend that you're in a car. And he said, the car's in front of you. And I have a pretty vivid imagination. He said, the car's in front of you. And he'd name one of my friends is sitting in the seat beside you. And you're just reading this to them, or you're telling this story to them. And so I would start, I'd think, I got this. I have got this. I can do this because she's sitting right there and I'm telling this story to her, right? So I get started, and I would get to a word, and it would flush the emotion up. Oh, Mary, you are so sweet. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Hi, Alicia. You are very sweet. Thank you. So it would flush up this emotion. It was just like something would pop the cork off the scab of my soul. And yeah, it's on Audible. I do have it on CDs, old tech, but I do have it on CDs, but you have to get that from me, directly from me. They're not available anyplace else. It's on 6 CDs. Old technology, but we have them. Anyway, so it would explode the scab off that emotion, and then I cry. Well, then he would have to wait. Can you imagine? My son is having then wait for his mother to calm down, blow her nose, get back to where my voice was before. Sometimes I could, sometimes I couldn't. Sometimes we'd have to stop recording. And then he would say, okay, this time, the kid has the patience of Job. I am not kidding you. He'd say, okay, this time I still want you to be in the car. I still want you to be able to tell the story, but we're going to put her in the back seat this time. We're going to put her in the back seat. He was so good. He was so good at being able to handle me. Because this went, and we would record sections of this book. And like I said, it's a big, hefty book. We would record this book over and over and over. I think it took us a total of 4.5 months to record it. 4.5 months. I know, right, CB? It was so funny. I think it was 4.5 months, and then he did all the editing, he did all the production work, he wrote and played all the music that's throughout. It was a labor of love. It was a labor of love. Yeah. But every time he said, good enough, moving on, I'm like, yes, thank you. Anyway, okay, enough of that behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so I've got this laid out, right? We're just going to do this one thing. I have 3 pages laid out. I'll go ahead and show you what they are. But we're only going to work on this one because I think that it would be best to just go all the way through one little thing, you know, one little section. So here on this section, what I did here, and I'll see if I can kind of get you to see, what I pulled out from this is be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Okay, so that's what I pulled out of this that I wanted to highlight. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you. We, you know, the thing about my family, the thing about my nuclear family, which is, was Clausman, who is no longer with us, my son, and then now my granddaughter / daughter, my granddaughter, you know, whatever, Christy. We'll just call her Christy. The thing about that is my nuclear family with the 4 of us. Christy's now married. Race is getting married. So our family is beginning to expand. Christy and her husband have a new baby, you know, so our family is growing. But that is my little insulated nuclear family. And each of us brought a unique set of gifts and talents and whatever to the table, and strengths. It's really strengths. And so the part that's really important in that is that you embrace that which you are good at, and you acknowledge that which you are not good at, and you let somebody else do it. The cool part about the way that we all work together is that we've managed somehow, I don't know how, to take those things, that skill set, and blend them together in ways that that complemented each other, you know, because it's easy to get frustrated with other people in your family when you don't do this, you know. It's really easy to get frustrated with each other instead of realizing that you just simply blend. You know, you look for the strengths within each other, and you can do that with friends. You can do that with, you know, your adopted family members. You can do it with your family members if you're so fortunate to have family that you can do that with. You know, but that's what made us tick as a group, because we each brought new and different things than the other one brought into the way that we work together. And so thank you for observing that. Thank you for observing that. Okay, so back to this. Let's take a look at this. So I pulled out, this is what I wanted to remember, because I'm not so good at being slow to speak. I'm not so good at being slow to get angry. So I thought I'll play with that and make a memory for myself. So again, I put my tracing paper on here so that I could kind of get a visual. And so over here I wrote, be quick to listen. So that's what this says. I know you probably can't see it. And then down here I wrote, slow to speak and slow to get angry. So the words are the right way up this way and the right way pointing here. But if I went all the way around the page, either way, part of it was going to be upside down. I don't want it upside down, so I just changed it. And then up here I just did some doodles, and then I added a doodle in here. So, you know, I just play around with it because I really don't care. It's mine. It's my book. I bought and paid for this, so I can do what I want with it, you know? I can. And then I did one more, which is this page over here. And I just pulled out 3 different sheets of tracing paper because I like to be able to really get a real look at, you know, what it's going to be. And so for this one, there was a section on here. Here. He was even called a friend of God. I like that image of being a friend of God. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to use that. So that's what I did. I wrote, he was called friend of God. And then I'll do something with that. I don't know. But it just sort of gives me the visual of how it's going to lay out. Okay? So that's what we have going on there. But we're not going to do those. We're going to do this one. We're going to do this one. And so I did it in pencil first. And then now I'm going to, I've got some highlighters and I've got some Pigma pens. Bye, Mary. So that's what I've got. And this was just happenstance that I found these. I didn't know that these were good for Bible journaling, but they really are. So I've used these quite a bit. I found these at Walmart, and these are called mild liners, and they are zebra. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Zebra mild liners. And that's what this is. Okay, that's what that highlighted text is. Let's see if I can find one where... Okay, so here's a section that I highlighted, and then over here, it doesn't bleed through the page. Not that that really bothers me, but, you know, anyway, if you don't want it to bleed through the page, then I just happened to buy these, and then I was watching some videos online, and everybody kept talking about these, and I'm like, well, that was just fortunate. But they have a wedge tip on one side. There you go. See the wedge tip? And then on the other end, there is a bullet point. So anyway, that's what this specific color is, what that is. So those don't go through. And then I like the micron pens. So let's just do this and see what happens, okay? As I said, it really doesn't matter. And if you want to make just doubly sure, then put a piece of paper in here. So we will. And so I'm going to have to tip this so that my hand can do this a little more easily. And almost guaranteed, it's almost guaranteed that I will screw this up trying to go over the pencil. And so I just give myself the grace to screw it up, and then I'll make something out of it. Just go, oh, if you mess it up, you mess it up. So what? And going really slowly is so difficult for me. All right, let's see how it looks on the other side. Yeah, see, it's okay. It's okay. All right. Going slowly is difficult, but it's about the only way that I might be able not to misspell the word. I don't know about you guys, but my brain and my hand don't always work together. As she gets very quiet, trying not to misspell the word. Okay. You can always tell when I'm in trouble because I'll start going faster and faster. It's a problem. And you all are sitting there going, oh, can she do it? Can she spell it without misspelling? Okay, it looks like I got that one. Okay. And then I'm going to, for the dot on the eye, I'm just going to make the flowers, these big goofy flowers that I like, loopy flowers I call them. Yeah, Race and I have done many projects together. All right, let's see if we can do this one down here. And then we'll see what happens next. We're going to do these with the black. Not fast, Barb. Not fast. I told you about sitting next to an 11-year-old boy in Sunday school one day. This was a couple weeks ago. And I'm going to go ahead and make those same flowers from up there. Living dangerously. I'm just doing it. I didn't draw it out first. I'm just doing it. Anyway, I showed him that what I had done. I was trying to entertain him during Sunday school, because he wasn't planning to be there, you know. He wasn't planning to be there that day. It just kind of happened that he had to, because their class messed up or something. And so I was talking to him, trying to keep him kind of occupied, and I said, I don't think you're supposed to do this in your Bible. And he said, he looked at me, and he had looked at all the things I had done, and he says, it looks like it was printed that way, so I think you can get away with it. Okay, good enough. Tam likes the mild liners. Hi, Vanessa. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad each and every one of you decided to spend some time here. So all I'm doing is just lightening the graphite. I'm going to still be able to see it, but I'm going to get rid of a lot of it. I want to still be able to see it so I can copy, but this way I can remove some of the graphite so it, you know, it disappears, fades a little bit. Okay, so let's use, let's use green for strength. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe I'll do the bullet tip, and then we'll thicken it up. All right, let's see what happens. Wish me luck. And I don't care if they're all in the same line, like the same bottom line. I don't care if that lines up. Doesn't make any difference to me. Okay, not too bad. All right, let's thicken some of this up a little bit. Maybe I'll just use the same end. Let's thicken up some of these kind of the down strokes. I'm going to thicken those up a little bit. I have to always redraw the letter in order to envision where the down strokes are. Okay, this, and we're going to come down, down. You guys have to do that. You have to think through this stuff. I'm telling you. There are not a lot of things that I do very intuitively. Most everything that I do, I have to think my way through. Okay. So far, so good. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the pencil, the graphite. So I'm going to clean off my eraser on a clean piece of paper. Bye, Sandra. I know, isn't that funny, Chris? He seems to be enjoying that TV a lot. Yeah, from what I can tell. That was quite a story. Yeah, he is a character. He is a character. You talk about a young man with a lot of talent and skills. Yeah, he's my heart. I'm a very, very grateful mother. Mother's Day was very special for me. I don't know what I did to deserve such an amazing day, and considering that last year my husband didn't even know Mother's Day. It's like, it's breathtaking that my life is 180 degrees different than it was a year ago. He didn't know last year. He didn't know birthdays. He knew his birthday. That was the funny thing. He knew his birthday. He didn't know our anniversary. He didn't know Valentine's Day. He didn't know any occasion. Didn't know, even though I told him, he was like, oh, okay. So much for that, Yeah. And you don't want, you know that there's nothing he can do about it. And it's still, oh, you guys, it would still just crush me. It just crushed my feelings. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? He cannot help this, and it's still, oh my goodness, my feelings were so hurt, because the crazy part of you just stays, the illogical part of you stays so engaged, and it reassures you that, yeah, you're worthless. And yes, if you were worth your salt, he would remember. And I mean, there were so many times last year where it was so hurtful for me, selfish, hurtful, the whole thing, that I got to where I said to my son, I said, please don't call me on those occasions. Please don't call me on holidays, because he's so good about doing that. I said, you just can't call me. I just have to get through them, So if you are going through things like that, if any of you listening or watching are going through things like that, please know that you can survive it. That no matter how bad it feels and how much you think it's going to kill you, because I was pretty sure it was going to, you can get through it. But the secret is you have to hang on. And that's what you have to do, is you have to hang on and understand and realize that the hurt is not going to last forever. It feels like it's going to last forever. It feels oppressive, and it feels like it's going to end your life, but it only ends your life if you allow it to. And we went through that whole discussion the last time I streamed. But yeah, a lot of it was just super hurtful. This year, 180 degrees different. Incredible. 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 It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I know I'm human, right? Who knew? That is a hard thing to accept. I don't know if you guys have that issue, but for me, accepting my own humanity at times, although I am very well aware that I'm human, and I am very capable of just royally screwing up. It is so hard to accept. I don't know. It's a curiosity, isn't it? Okay, let's do this thing. Okay, so I've got the graphite erased off of most of it. Whatever's there, I don't care. And so then what are we going to do with this thing? Well, let's just decorate it a little bit, shall we? So I'm going to pull out some colored pencils. I think I have some in here. Yeah, I do. So I just have some colored pencils. One of the things that I read someplace was one of the suggestions was to take one of these cutting mats. You get, I don't know, 2 of them, I think, at the dollar store. And it's just a plastic cutting mat, and cut it down, and you can actually put this in between pages to give you a harder surface to work on. And so that's a pretty good idea. Anyway, so ask me how many times I've used it. I'm not sure. Okay, so these colored pencils I'm using happen to be, what are these? These are from Jerry's Artorama. They were very inexpensive, and they're really a pretty good pencil. What are these called? Cezanne. These are Cezanne colored pencils. And it was a big set of pencils. This whole thing is full of these colored pencils, except for the ones that I pulled out. Super inexpensive. Affordable is a better word to use. And so I just pulled out a bunch of them, so we'll just use the ones I pulled out. Wow, Joyce. Wow. That's pretty much all I can say is wow. And the truth is, with my husband, I don't know how long he was dealing with dementia. I really don't, because he was so good at hiding it. Some of them are really, really, really good, and he was one of those. All right, I'm going to come in really tight so you can see what in the world I'm doing. Okay? So, you know, you can see what I'm doing. So there's that. I just put in yellow flower centers. I'm going to do the same thing down here, right there. So I'm just going to put in the yellow flower centers, which you might not even be able to see, but I can see it. And then I'm going to go over the words here because I can. So I'm just going to go over. And just let it be kind of messy. And these are just colored pencils. They're a wax-based colored pencil. And they're fairly soft. They're not as soft as Prismacolor, but they're fairly soft. All right, we got live. Maybe I'll just do this in different colors because why not? Whoops, I'm sorry, you couldn't even see that. Good grief. Terrible work. Terrible. Barb, shame on you. I'm sure somebody was yelling at me and I didn't look in the chat. Oh well, sorry you guys. I have found that I like using the colored pencils because it doesn't warp the pages. I don't know, for whatever reason that kind of bothers me, the warped pages. I don't know why. Yeah, there's a good discussion going on in the chat about dementia. I will leave, most of the time now I'm leaving the chat up with the video. So if you, because sometimes there's some really good discussions that happen in the chat, so that's mostly why I'm leaving it up. So in other words, don't write anything in the chat that you don't want to be out there online. But I think one of the things that we can do is we can help each other, we can support each other. And then one of the other things that I enjoy doing is when there's loops in a closed loop in a word, I kind of like just fill in that space. All of this is personal preference. It just depends on what you like, you know. And oftentimes I'm doing this when I'm watching TV, and I just kind of go with the flow and see what, you know, just kind of see what feels right. And then sometimes you don't have much of a closed loop, and so you just go, well, that one didn't get much. That one didn't get much love. It's a lot, you know, it really, for me, it's a doodle. You know, I don't, like I said, I don't do the illustration like Lena does. She does beautiful, beautiful illustrations. I don't do that. Um, and um, so my style is more of a doodle style. I hope you guys are having a great day today. If you're not having a great day, what can you do to make it a great day? You know, sometimes you just got to figure out what it is you can do. You know, there were days when, most days, if I'm honest, most days were greatly challenging around here. Especially from September on last year, super challenging. And so I would figure out what it was we could do, because it got real tough to take him any place. So sometimes we just went and sat on the deck. You know, I could get him outside and we'd just sit on the deck. And then when I was feeling good and strong, because he was a handful to manage physically, when I was feeling good and strong, then we'd take off and we'd go to Starbucks and, you know, that kind of stuff. It's like, how can you make the day better? You know, what can you do to just make the day better? How can you add, you know, because there were a lot of days I didn't feel any joy. I just didn't feel any joy at all. I mean, realistically, people, I didn't feel joy. And so it's like, what in the world can I do to make this better? You know, what can I do? Boy, some days I had to stretch. Yes, I did. Some days I had to really stretch. Okay, let's put some, I'm just going to use the red because I like the red. We're going to just make some little red flower petals here. And, you know, I constantly had to reassure myself that I had I had the power to change my attitude. And I will tell you what, there were some days when I didn't get that accomplished. There were other days it wasn't hard, you know, but there were some days that changing my attitude and having a better attitude about things was just super challenging. So if you're having a bad day, what can you do to make it better? You know, what can you do to make it better? All right, so there's that. We'll just let that live there, and if I want to come back and do some more with it, I will. Let's come down to this one, and let's see what we can do down here. So I'm going to kind of repeat. Let's do this. Let's zoom out, because you kind of got the idea, so maybe it would be better if you could see what I'm doing overall. See, I like that. I like the color. So there you go. So I'm going to do, let's go to this color and this color and this color. My joy brings. Okay, we'll just do these purples. We'll do these purples. Hi, Marilyn. It is a rough thing to deal with. And I'm glad that you guys can support each other. It's really important that you support each other as you can. All right, so I'm just going to use this. This is the same color as I used up here. I don't feel compelled to use the same colors. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on, you know what it depends on? Depends on which one I pick up and which one feels right. Okay, we got my. All right, let's do this one next. So this should be a different color purple. Seems remarkably similar to the other one, but it's a little darker. When you fill in a little bit like this, then you kind of see the difference in the two colors, maybe. This is a lighter purple than that one. And then this one, I don't know what it is, blue or purple. I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, it's blue. You guys, I got to have a bunch of dental work done. I need lots of prayers and good support. It starts next Tuesday morning. Yes, I have. It's not a huge amount, but it's enough that it's got me a little freaked out. So, all good thoughts, prayers, positive energy, gratefully accepted. Yes, because it's going to be several weeks of things that I just haven't had time to take care of. So, you can only get away with that just so long, and then the piper comes calling and says, "Yes, I expect to be paid now." Yeah, I'm not a great patient, and I have to travel about an hour and 15 minutes to get to my dentist. That was one of the things that Clausman insisted on doing, is driving me to the dentist. It used to make me crazy. It's like, I can go to the dentist by myself. Although it was very thoughtful of him. And now, you know what? Now I kind of wish he was here to drive me to the dentist. Why are we like that? I don't know why we're like that. Anyway, I gotta buck up, pull up my big girl panties, and do it myself. Okay, let's come down here and let's see, what color do I want to do there? How about orange? That's what Race used to call. If I ever slip up and say Rick, that's because that's his given name. Race is the name he uses online. It's the same person. But he used to call this, when he was a little boy, he'd call it orange. So we're going to put orange flowers on here. So we have red flowers up here and orange ones down here. And now I'm going to make these letters a little thicker. I'm going to use when I did the letters to start with, I used an 05. I used an 05, there we go, an 05 micron. This time I'm using an 02 micron. Dorothy has to go and, yeah. I'm not excited. That's okay. I gotta buck up and be a big girl. Okay, so what I like to do on a word like this, let's see if I can find an example back here. See if I can find my example. I like to embellish the words, embellish the specific letters, like this. So I'm not necessarily outlining the letters, but I like to embellish the letters. It makes them more readable for me. It makes them more special. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I kind of have to put my hand a little bit, turn this a little sideways so my hand can work. I think of every part of this letter as an individual piece. And so anything that goes across, I'm going to go under, and anything that goes down, up or down, I'm going to go on the left side of the color. So I can do this fairly quickly, but I'm going to try and do it slowly for you. So I'm going to come under and the left, under and down the left always. So the left side of the stroke and under it. This does take practice, but once you catch on to it, you can do it really fast. Okay. All right, let me come up here where you can see. Okay, do you see that? So it's the left and the under, left and under, left and under. And then don't get too don't get too picky about it. Don't get too precious about it. Just go for it. And sometimes I'm right next to the color and sometimes I'm not. But I'm always thinking under and left, under and left. And I think of each part of the letter as its own individual bit. Okay, but you see how much more presence that gives to that word by doing this. I'm going to scooch in real tight so you can see. Okay, see how that looks? I like that a lot, and so that's what I do. I mean, I do that in my art journaling, my regular art journaling stuff too, and so I really like that way of playing with the color. Same thing up here. And then from there, I just, you know, play around with colors and the pencils, and, you know, I'll fill in stuff, you know, like so. I'll just fill this in and sometimes shadow around words with the colored pencil. Basically anything that I want to emphasize on the page, then I will do that. You know, for example, there's a stripe here, right here, and so I may just, you know, use this color. And I'm not pushing very hard with the pencil. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not pushing very hard with the pencil because I don't want to burnish the color down to the page. I want to be able to come over it with another color if I choose to. And if you burnish too hard, if you push too hard, it will seal the paper. And then you can't get any more color to lay down on it. So, you know, it's just all a matter of what you like and what you want to get used to, and, you know, kind of finding your own style. You know, like another great place is to fill this in. So maybe we'll just use one of these colors that I've used before, and I'll just add some of that, you know. I just kind of look at each page, and I don't care if they relate to each other. You know, that doesn't matter to me. I just, the whole time I'm doing this, you know, as I've picked out the words that are important to me, because, as I've said, words are important to me. I'm sure you figured that out by now, by the amount of time that I talk and by the stuff that I write, the copious volumes of journal stuff that I write. So I'm thinking the whole time I'm doing this, not while I'm streaming, but when I'm just doing it normally, I'm thinking about what the words were that I pulled out. You know, that's what I'm thinking about as I go. You know. And then, you know, sometimes I bend the pages over accidentally, and so at that point then I just, you know, close the book up, and eventually I found out that they straighten out. So anyway, that's what we did right there. And I may add some more things. You know, I love these big old floppy flowers, and so it's quite possible that I will add some more flowers down the side of the page, or, you know, perhaps just add one here or there, you know, as I go. But I will remember this because of what I've done here. You know, I'll remember this. Where if I'm just, you know, I am a big person with a highlighter. I always have a highlighter in my hand when I'm reading, or pens, and often I have a notebook and I'm writing stuff in the notebook. It's a whole, people, it's a whole sickness I got going on when it comes to writing and reading and remembering things. But I've learned what I need in order to remember things. And so it works for me to have color. It works for me to have, emphasize the word in a bigger style. It works for me to have those big loopy flowers because, visually that sticks in my head. And I do the same thing when I'm reading just, not fiction. Fiction I just let live on its own because I don't remember that stuff anyway. I just, read. Fiction for me is an escape. And so I'll read some sort of fictional thing, really get into it. And just, that's all I do is read that book. I don't do that very often because I don't let myself do that very often. But nonfiction, I've got the highlighters, I've got pens, I'm doing all this, that jazz to do that. So anyway, for me, it works. And I just thought, some people had asked if I would do a little bit more with what I do in this form of journaling. And I'm pretty new at it, but I'm liking what I'm doing. So that's cool. All right. With that being said, I'm going to see if I have anything else to show you. I don't think I do. And where's my list? My list for today, I don't have anything else to show you. So, I was going to also tell you about the canvases that I did did I do those 2 weeks ago? I did them 2 weeks ago. And I was going to show you how they turned out. I ended up doing 3 canvases that I took to my daughter, and she really liked them. So I'm going to see if I can find them so I can show you a picture. So give me a second. She was so happy when I gave them to her. I know they're here. Here they are. Okay, so this is before I gave them to her. It was still here. So I did 3 canvases. The one that I did with you guys was the middle one, the love one, and then I did one that was peace, and the other was joy. So that was how they ended up. And then I'll show you a picture of her when she opened them up. She loved them. That was nice that she loved them. Nothing like having to suffer your way through grandmother pictures, is it? All right, I don't know where they are. They're here somewhere. Where are you? Here they are. So she was opening them and laying them out so she could see them. And there she is showing them off. So she really liked them. So that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, so I just thought I would tell you the rest of the story. Okay. I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining me today and hanging out with me and having some fun. And welcome to anybody that's new, whether you're watching the recording or you're here live for the first time. I'm so glad you're here. And in case you didn't know, my name is Barb Owen, and I'm glad you're here with all of us. It's a great group today. Thank you for supporting each other and helping each other because somehow together we can lighten each other's loads, and that's a big important thing for us to do for each other. And I appreciate your openness with each other and with me. So thank you for that. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I plan to have a wonderful weekend too. And do something really special for yourself. And if you're not feeling joy, find some joy, even if it's something small. Find some joy for yourself. And sometimes all that takes is doing something for somebody else can light up your soul joy. So do something good for yourself and for somebody else today, okay? All right. With that being said, VIP class is tomorrow. Check your email for information. I will see you tomorrow. I'll see the rest of you next Friday, I hope, unless I get called for grandmother duty. which I explained earlier in the video. Thank you for joining me and hanging out with me and being so sweet, so kind, and such a very important part of my life. And I will, as far as I know, be back here next week, same time, same place. I don't know what we'll do, so come back and it'll be a surprise to all of us, I'm sure. With that being said, remember to get creative today, because you know it's easy, and I will see you hopefully next week. Bye everybody. Have a great weekend. See you then.